Two people, same age, same city. One earns $52,000 a year, the other earns $140,000. Guess which one has more money in the bank? It's not the one you think. The $52,000 earner has 18 months of expenses saved and invests every single month. The $140,000 earner is 2 missed paychecks away from financial collapse. This isn't a story about luck. It's a story about money rules that 95% of Americans have never been taught, and I'm about to give you all of them in the next 13 minutes. I'm Mark, and on this channel we cut through the noise of personal finance and give you what actually works. The rules I'm about to share aren't from a textbook. They're patterns I've studied across thousands of people who stay financially stable no matter what the economy does, and the ones who collapse the moment anything goes wrong. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly why money slips through your fingers, and the 8 rules that will stop it permanently. Rule number 6 alone saved a viewer of mine over $14,000 last year. Stick around for that one. Let's get into it. Rule number 1, everything you own costs money twice. The first cost is obvious, it's the price tag. The second cost is the one that destroys people financially, and almost nobody calculates it. That $2,000 treadmill in your basement, it takes up 20 square feet of space. In most American cities, that's $600 to $1,000 a year in implicit rent, just to store it. That $30,000 boat sitting in your driveway, industry standards say it costs around 10% of its value every year just to maintain. That's $3,000 a year, whether you take it out or not. That $15,000 home gym you bought during the pandemic. If you had invested that money instead in a basic S&P 500 index fund, in 15 years, it would be worth around $50,000. You didn't just buy a home gym. You bought a home gym instead of $50,000. Financially stable people understand this in their bones. They don't refuse to buy things because they're cheap. They refuse to buy things because they've done the math on the true lifetime cost. And that brings us to the most important calculation you'll ever do before any purchase. Rule 2, before buying anything, calculate cost per use. It's the simplest math in personal finance, and it destroys 80% of impulse purchases in seconds. Here's the formula. Take the price of the item, divide it by the number of times you'll realistically use it. That's your real cost. A $400 jacket worn 200 times costs you $2 per wear. A $200 jacket worn twice costs you $100 per wear. The expensive jacket is actually 50 times cheaper. A $300 air fryer used 3 times a year costs you $100 every time you turn it on. A $30 kitchen knife used daily costs you about 8 cents per use after the first year. Now here's where this gets powerful. Run this formula on your last 5 purchases. Be honest about how often you actually used each item. Most people discover they've been paying $50, $80, even $200 every time they use something they thought was a great deal. The price tag lies, cost per use tells the truth. Rule 3, apply the replacement test to everything you already own. Stand up, walk through your home. Look at each item and ask one question. If this disappeared tonight, would I actually go out and pay money to replace it? Be brutally honest. Would you really repurchase that bread maker, those skis from 2019, the fondue set you've used twice, the 23 coffee mugs in your cabinet? For most items, the honest answer is no. And here's the part most people miss. Items you wouldn't replace have negative value. They cost you storage space. They cost you cleaning time. They cost you the mental energy of looking at them every day and feeling vaguely guilty for not using them. Researchers at UCLA found that visual clutter literally raises cortisol levels, the stress hormone, in people who live with it. Your stuff is making you stressed and broke at the same time. Walk through your home this weekend. Find 10 items that fail the replacement test. Sell them, donate them, or throw them out. The lightness you feel afterward is what financial stability actually feels like. Rule 4, never upgrade something that still works. This is the rule that separates wealth builders from wealth destroyers, and it's the one most Americans break constantly. Your phone takes calls, sends texts, runs apps. The new model has a slightly better camera. You upgrade. Cost $1,200. Your car runs perfectly. The New Year's model has updated styling. You trade in. Cost $8,000 in depreciation and fees. Your TV displays a perfect picture. The new one has 4 milliseconds faster response time. You replace. Cost $1,500. The average American replaces their phone every 2.5 years. Over a 30-year career, that's roughly $35,000 spent on phones, when one phone every 5 years would have done the exact same job. Apply that pattern across every category: cars, electronics, furniture, appliances, and the lifetime cost of upgrade culture easily exceeds $200,000. Financially stable people have one rule for upgrades: an item gets replaced when it stops functioning, not when you're bored with it, not when a newer version exists, not when your neighbor got the new one. Boredom is not failure. Marketing is not failure. Only actual breakdown is failure. Rule 5. Make spending hard and saving automatic. Here's a truth that took me years to understand. Willpower doesn't work. It depletes throughout the day. By 7 p.m. after a hard day at work, your willpower tank is empty, and that's exactly when Amazon, DoorDash, and every other app is waiting for you. Financially stable people don't rely on willpower. They engineer their environment so the right choice is the easy choice. Here's how to do it tonight. Delete every shopping app from your phone. Amazon, Target, Shein, all of it. If you need something, you can use the browser, and that extra friction kills most impulse buys. Remove every saved credit card from every website. Having to type your card number is enough friction to make you ask, do I actually need this? Set up automatic transfers to your savings and investment accounts on payday. Before the money hits your checking account, it's already moving where it needs to go. Implement the 24-hour rule. For any non-essential purchase, wait 24 hours. Studies suggest that around 70% of impulse desires evaporate within a day. You're not weak for buying things you don't need. You're human in an environment specifically designed to extract money from you. The solution isn't more willpower, it's a better environment. Rule 6. Count what you own. This is the one I promised you earlier, the rule that saved a viewer of mine $14,000 in 1 year. Pick one category, count every item you own in it, write the number down. How many shirts do you own? Take a guess right now. Then go count. The average American owns 103 items of clothing, and a recent study found we only wear about 20% of them regularly. How many kitchen gadgets are sitting in your cabinets right now? How many pairs of shoes in your closet? How many half-used bottles of shampoo? How many books you'll never read again? The numbers shock everyone who does this exercise. And here's the magic. Once you know you own 47 shirts, buying another one feels completely different. You're not adding a shirt to your collection. You're bringing it to 48. The absurdity becomes visible. Set a maximum number for each category. Maybe 30 items of clothing total. Maybe 10 pairs of shoes. Maybe a strict one-in, one-out rule for anything new. The viewer I mentioned, she counted her clothing, set a cap at 40 items, and then she tracked every purchase she didn't make over the next year. The total came to just over $14,000. That's a fully funded Roth IRA contribution, just from counting. Rule 7. Define what enough looks like before your income grows. This is the trap that destroys high earners. They never define a finish line, so the moment their income increases, their lifestyle increases with it. New raise, new car, new promotion, bigger house. New bonus, fancier vacation. It's called lifestyle creep, and it's why people earning $300,000 a year feel just as broke as people earning $60,000. Their expectations grew faster than their paychecks. Financially stable people decide in advance what enough looks like. Not what's possible, not what they could afford, what's enough. Maybe a $300,000 home is enough, even though you could qualify for $600,000. Maybe a reliable $25,000 car is enough, even though your colleagues lease $80,000 subs. Maybe your current wardrobe is enough, even if your income could support constant upgrades. Here's the math that will change your life. If you decide that $60,000 a year of spending is enough, and then you start earning $130,000, you're saving $70,000 a year. Invested in an S&P 500 index fund, averaging historical 8% returns. That becomes around $1 million in just 10 years. Same income as someone living paycheck to paycheck on $130,000. Completely different life. Define enough, then earn past it. Rule 8, measure your wealth by your options, not your stuff. Most people measure wealth by what they own. The house, the car, the watch, the vacations on Instagram. Financially stable people measure wealth completely differently. They measure it by what they can choose. Can you walk out of a job that's destroying your mental health? Can you take 6 months off to take care of a parent? Can you say no to a client who treats you badly? Can you move across the country for a relationship without going broke? Can you retire at 55 instead of 67? Those options are real wealth, and they're only available to people who built a gap between their income and their expenses. The person earning $200,000 but spending $195,000 has zero options. They are chained to that paycheck. One bad meeting with their boss and their entire life collapses. The person earning $80,000 but spending $45,000 has freedom. They can quit. They can pivot. They can wait for the right opportunity instead of grabbing the first one out of desperation. Every dollar you spend on stuff you don't really need is a dollar that can't buy your freedom later. Every purchase isn't just trading money for an object. It's trading future options for present possession. Sometimes that's worth it. Most of the time it isn't. Now here's what nobody tells you about these 8 rules. They compound on each other. Owning less means you save more. Saving more creates security. Security removes the emotional need to spend. Less spending means you save even more. Each rule reinforces the next, and within a few years, your entire relationship with money has transformed. But the opposite cycle is just as powerful, just in the wrong direction. Spending everything creates anxiety. Anxiety drives more spending as temporary emotional relief. More spending deepens anxiety. The cycle continues until something breaks, a job loss, a medical bill, a divorce, and everything collapses at once. The wild part? Both cycles are available to you at every income level. There are people earning $40,000 a year on the virtuous cycle, quietly building real wealth. And there are people earning $400,000 on the destructive cycle, one disaster away from losing everything. Income doesn't decide which cycle you're on. The 8 rules do. So here's what I want you to do tonight. Pick one rule, just one. Don't try to implement all 8 at once. That's how people fail. Maybe it's the 24-hour rule. Maybe it's counting your shirts. Maybe it's deleting Amazon from your phone. Whichever one hit you the hardest while watching this, start there. Tomorrow morning, you'll notice something different. The next time you reach for your phone to buy something, you'll pause, you'll do the math, you'll think about cost per use. You'll ask yourself if it passes the replacement test. That pause is where financial stability begins. Remember the 2 people I told you about at the start. The one earning $52,000 with 18 months of savings, and the one earning $140,000 living paycheck to paycheck. Both lives are available to you, no matter what your current income is. The only thing that decides which one you end up in is whether you follow these rules or not. If this video helped you see money differently, hit that subscribe button. I post videos like this every week to help you build real financial stability, not the fake kind. And let me know in the comments which rule you're starting with tonight. I read every single one. I'm Mark. I'll see you in the next video.